So I have a bold statement. I believe that every single person has the potential or is already a leader. So please raise your hand if you think you're a leader. Awesome, that's great. But we do have a problem. 51% of organizations said that their leadership is not at all ready, only somewhat ready to lead them today. 51%. That's a large amount. Why do we think that is? Why do we think that 51% of organizations do not believe in their leaders? I would argue that that's because leaders today are managing instead of leading their organizations. We need people in charge who have empathy and compassion, who role model the behaviors that we want to see in our organizations and set the culture. So, all throughout high school, I love leadership positions. I wanted to be in every leadership position I could get my hands on. And that was all well and good, but I was only managing the organizations I was part of. And that followed me into college. I still love leadership. I wanted to be a part of all the organizations I could. But I found myself not connecting with the people that I was leading. I, as a junior, became the membership chairman for my sorority, or the recruitment chairman. And when I led my workshops for the first time, I found that my audience wasn't connecting with what I was saying. They were disinterested, and some were even playing on their phones, which necessarily wasn't a good thing, but it was something I was doing wrong, not what they were doing wrong. I wasn't able to connect with my audience. And through some self-reflection, I remembered a time I attended a leadership academy with my sorority. We learned all kinds of things about actions and how to implement good leadership qualities. And I reflected within myself, and I came up with 3 ways to be an effective leader. So 1, you must communicate with emotional intelligence. So this is all about tailoring how you talk to people. Then you must model the way. Be a role model for the people in your organizations. And next, you must communicate and inspire a shared vision within your organizations. So, we all need leaders that want to be a part of our organizations and that communicate effectively. So when we start communicating with emotional intelligence and tailoring our message to our audience, and we need to think before we speak as leaders. We need to think about what we're saying and how that can be perceived. Next, we must show ourselves to our audience. We must show ourselves to our organization so that they see that we're not always perfect, that we may make mistakes, but that's okay. And they then become connected with us as leaders when we start communicating effectively. When we start that, then we allow for open communication back and forth between the people in our organization and our leaders. We allow people to be creative and come up with ideas and then give constructive feedback as well. We start innovating instead of standing still. And once we start communicating and having our organizations practice that open communication, we start inspiring the people around us to come talk to us. We become approachable. And that's something that's very important for all organizations. And once we model the emotional intelligence, we role model the behaviors that we want in our organizations. So we must communicate with emotional intelligence, but we also need to role model the behaviors in our organizations. We need to role model empathy. We need to role model compassion, hard work, and dedication, as well as ethics. And if we want that to be a part of our organizations, we must first act it out. We have to be able to act on what we say, because it's no longer a model of do what I say, not what I do. We have to actually practice what we preach to our organizations. And that's so important to inspire the people around us. And when we start acting on what we say, we become connected to our audience and our organization. And that's really cool, right? Leaders need to be connected. And haven't we all had a leader in our organization that has these really high expectations for us, but we can't fulfill? And then it becomes frustrating, right? Yeah. And once we start acting on what we say, we inspire the people around us. We inspire them to do what we want to do. We inspire a shared vision. So we need to communicate with emotional intelligence. We need to role model the behaviors we want in our organization, and we need to inspire a shared vision. Doesn't everyone want to be inspired? Doesn't everyone want a cause to be a part of and become passionate about? Passion inspires people. Passion gets people excited about what they're doing. And passion is contagious. Passion allows us to do these small, mundane tasks that we may not like, but because we're passionate about them, we see the end goal and they become fun. Doesn't everyone want something that's fun to be a part of, right? And passion shines through in all these moments we have within our organization. Passion allows us to do great things and become together in an inspired shared vision and an end goal for our organization. So as leaders, we need to role model the behavior we want from our organizations, communicate with emotional intelligence, and inspire the people around us to see our end goal. And once we start doing that, we see a change within our organization. Once I started role modeling the behavior I wanted from my organization, when I started actively listening to the people who were talking to me and being present in conversations, I saw them become present in our conversations. I saw them get excited about what I was talking about and become dedicated to the cause. They had fun when we were doing workshops. They had fun being a part of what I was doing. So, leaders, why are we not communicating a shared vision? Why are we not communicating with emotional intelligence? Why are we not role modeling the behaviors we want from our organizations? Why are we not inspiring a shared vision? I'd like to leave you with this quote. Leadership is the capacity and the will to rally men and women to a common purpose, and the character which inspires confidence. Thank you.